Please leave or we will consider your presence trespassing. Are you here to drop off a package or talk to the resident?
Dropping off a package.
Does the delivery require a signature?
It does not.
Please leave the parcel at the doorstep and exit the premises.
Quiet on the set. We are live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everyone, to an extraordinary moment in the world of innovation. Today, we pull back the curtain on the groundbreaking vision of artificial intelligence technology solutions, what you know as AITX.
That's right, Brad. This presentation will cover everything from product updates and technology roadmaps to financials and client wins. Steve Reinharz will kick things off with an exciting overview of the entire AITX vision as it stands today.
An exciting vision? I'm already living it. Ready to detect, engage, and protect your home and properties. Don't worry, I've got this covered.
Next, we'll move to operations and client wins with Mark Folmer, RAD-I's president. The company has been winning big. Let's see if Mark shares why and how.
Then comes the sales activity update from Troy McCanna. Troy is the ex-FBI agent turned sales leader for RAD-I. Troy will share details on recent wins, the backlog, and what's ahead this year.
Exactly, RADCam. We will then dive into the financials presented by Sheldon Reinhardt. RAD-I has already achieved effective positive cash flow. So how close is AITX to total operational profitability?
And of course, we'll take a moment to highlight the amazing AITX team. The company's culture is one of its biggest strengths. Let's see what's in store for the team this year.
Before we continue, I'd like to mention that the forward-looking statements disclaimer is being displayed on the screen over my shoulder. Please take a moment to review it as we proceed.
Oh, and did I mention Steve Danelon? As RAD Residential's newly appointed president, he'll take us to the next level. And with me on the RAD-R team, how could we lose?
So, sit back, stay engaged, and get ready to witness what AI-driven innovation looks like. Bradley, RADCam, SARA, and I would now like to introduce you to Steve Reinharz, CEO and CTO of AITX and its 4 RAD subsidiaries.
Thank you, Brad, Bradley, RADCam, and SARA. Generative AI is reshaping everything, and what you just saw was built entirely with it. Our theme for 2025 is security of everything. And the way that this investor presentation is going to start is we're going to start with a summarization, an executive summary, so to speak, of the things that we're going to cover later on. So if you only have 10 minutes, and I really wish you had 90 minutes to watch the whole thing, but if you only have 10 minutes, this will be the piece that you'll definitely want to watch. Let's get into the executive summary. All right, so everybody, I'm Steve Reinharz. I'm the founder, CEO, and CTO of Artificial Intelligence Technology Solutions and our 4 subsidiaries. And what we're going to be doing across this whole investor presentation is talking about how each of those 4 subsidiaries are going to contribute to AITX's results this year. We're going to talk a little bit about becoming operationally cash flow positive. We're going to talk a little bit about what our revenue projections look like for this year. And we're going to give Mark Folmer, the president of Robotic Assistance Devices, time to share what he's doing with RAD Inc. And we're going to give Troy McCanna, our senior VP of Revenue Operations for Robotic Assistance Devices, time for him to speak and share with you what he's going to be doing with the sales team. We're also going to introduce Sheldon Reinhardt, who is our Chief Financial Strategy Officer, and him and I are going to talk about the financials. And lastly, we're going to have a quick cameo by Steve Danelon, who was just appointed to be RAD-R's president. On either January 16th or January 17th, we're going to issue what might be a bit of a lengthy press release. And that press release is going to cover some of the financial results that we just filed on January 15th, the day that this is being broadcast. But I'm going to cover a couple of the highlights right now, right here, because you might not read financial filings that much, or it might, I want to get the information out to you because it's good. Team, I am pleased to share that fiscal Q3 continued our exponential revenue growth year over year for the quarter of approximately 3x. Quarter over quarter growth was approximately 30%. The beauty of our financial model being basically SaaS is that we get a customer, we build the products, we pay for the product once, that customer continues to rent that product for us over years. So I want you guys to have that information because it's amazing, and I believe we're going to finish this year between $6 and $6.5 million in overall revenue. Some may recall I forecasted between $5.5 and $6.5 million in revenue for the fiscal year. We're going to come on the top 50% of that, and I can promise you our team is working as hard as possible to break $6.5 million for the year. Another highlight in this executive summary is, hey, where does this next fiscal year going to look like? Again, going on record today, expecting that fiscal year that we enter on March 1st, 2025, I am expecting between 2 and 3x revenue growth. I am expecting our full year results to be somewhere between $12 and $18 million, which again, you may have read my Law of Large Averages video or press release that we did a few months ago. It gets harder to grow exponentially as you grow. That said, our sales team is going to be growing substantially over the course of this year. Other things that you're going to see in the video is we're going to go through the 4 companies. We're going to talk about our stationary products, our mobile products, our software, and our residential products. On the stationary side, we've got Ava, Rio, Rosa, and Tom. On mobile, you should stay for the mobile bit, okay? Because you're going to see something you've never seen before. Mobile bit, we've got Romeo and Rad Dog LE2 that we're going to reveal for the first time. Software side, we're going to talk about SARA a little bit, Rad Light by Way a bit, HOAP, Hope platform, as well as ROS. And then on the Rad residential side, we're going to talk a little bit about RADCam and what to expect out of the Rad-R lineup. On the sales team side, Troy's going to talk about how the sales team is really dialing in, building solid funnels, closing great customers with low attrition rates, and how we're going to be expanding that team. On the financial side, we're going to go through a few different items that I covered at the front. Revenue growth. And we're going to talk a little bit about how revenue growth leads to full operational profitability, how that leads to paying off debt, and how when the formula is correct to our satisfaction, we pull the trigger on uplisting to NASDAQ. We are not in a rush. Mr. Mark Folmer is going to talk about our operations and our production as president of RAD Inc. He's going to share with you how our factory is humming, how our team is working well, how we're having successes in every part of our business. And at the end of this 90 minutes, you're going to know what RadTown really is, how and what our products are, and why we expect enterprise organizations to start leaning in really, really hard to the complete RadTown solution. You're going to see why we're a unique company in the world in terms of vertically integrated from invention through to delivery, service, and maintenance, and why we've created a system of hardware and software. Okay, let's get into some more of the details for this investor presentation. Thanks, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the executive summary, and I'm glad you're here with me to dive into more details. The very first thing that I want to do together is introduce you a little bit to our journey. Know who we are, where we came from. Important to know as we share where we're going. At this point, it was about 10 years ago when I was a contractor working for NVIDIA in Northern California. And I'm working with the security guys, and they tell this story. They love telling this story. We see them every year at some shows here and there. They love telling this story where we're sitting there, we're working on, traditional legacy security for one of their campuses. This is before they had built their big, new, beautiful campus on the NVIDIA property. But we're just doing regular security stuff, legacy security stuff. And a technician comes in to the room, to our conference room where we're working, and he has a handheld battery, a small monitor, and one of the very early Jetsons. And he's pretty excited, and he's walking around and he shows it to us. And he says, "Look at this." And I said, "Oh my God." I said, "You are doing human detection off of a new type of training, a new type of AI training." And I was blown away. And it was in that moment that I announced to the room, I am going to open up an AI robotics company. And that was the moment and the spark that has led us to this point. Prior to that, opened up my first company when I was young and, been in entrepreneurship as a serial entrepreneur, riding all the ups and downs. That's just how I was built. Now, AITX, we did form about 8.5 years ago. And our very first employee, a gentleman named Luke Ross, was our first employee. And we had those moments of sitting at the kitchen table, working and trying to figure out how we're going to bring this vision to life. And then, of course, we moved into a garage, one of our other team members' garages at the time. Luke Ross, employee number one, is now my executive vice president, and he runs all of our production, customer service, all kinds of stuff. So he has grown tremendously. What a tremendous guy, like so many of our team members. Now, we're staying true to our original vision. And the original vision is, in essence, quite simple: using AI and robotics in order to perform security and facilities work better. That is the overall statement of what we're doing. Our very first device was a device that we called SCOT, Security Control and Observation Tower. And at that point, we installed like a RAD cultural element. And that element was, we're not going to create products and call them the X25. We're not going to do that. We're going to create names, because in our vision, we see that these devices become part of the security team. So I wanted to give them a human name that had an acronym behind it. SCOT was the very first one. When Allied Universal saw SCOT and heard our vision, they signed up as our very first dealer. Very exciting moment for us. Allied Universal has since grown, not because of us, but has since grown into the world's overwhelmingly largest security provider. Now, during those first years, from 2016 to 2020, they were really hard. We had SCOTs, we were underfunded, we were understaffed, we had a big vision with not enough tools to perform. We had a lot of ups and downs. A lot of downs, I tell you, a lot of downs. And then something crazy happened. COVID hit. And when COVID hit, we had lost what little investment I was able to get from private investors at the time. And I kind of thought, hey, maybe this is it. It kind of felt that way. And you got to understand, persistence is in my blood. For me to call something dead, it's really got to be dead. And we were kind of dead already. But in any case, we hadn't quite closed up yet. And one of our technicians said, hey, what if we created a face mask detection analytic? I was like, wow, great idea. Let's do it. We did it. We got a couple clients. Those clients led to more investment. We came up with a FDA-ready thermal check, for the temperature when all the COVID crazy stuff was going on. Clients picked up that. All of a sudden, we had some slow and small but inclining revenues. I was able to take that, leverage that, get more investment. And then something crazy happened. We became a meme stock. And despite the fact that we had very little revenue and difficult prospects at best at the time, our market cap skyrocketed to $780 million. We had a single day where we traded over $60 million. It was crazy. Really, really, really crazy. I was able to convince other investors to put more money in, which is still debt on our books today. And with that money, we really created and formed what you know as the modern AITX. It's important to know that when our market cap went crazy, I did not sell or convert a single share, and I do not plan to for years to come. Once we had that chunk of money that we kind of generated-ish through the meme stock situation to some extent, we were able to kind of write our books, tighten our vision, hire more staff, get another facility here in Detroit, and really start building the company that you have today. At the same time that we were building Scott, we also had a product called Wally. And Wally was great. Wally was the one that was doing the healthcare, the temperature sensing and access control. We processed a couple of million access requests hands-free during COVID using Wally. But, we had development money now. Not much, but we had enough to do more stuff. So Scott, based on customer feedback, evolved into Rosa, the very first Rosa. Rosa has since evolved into Generation 4, which is very exciting. We'll talk about it. And Wally evolved into Ava Generation 4 now as well, also very exciting. And Ava found some really good customers. We actually have it in federal trade zones in the United States. So foreign shipments of goods will come into the United States, but not officially enter the United States till they pass a federal trade zone border, which could be anywhere in the United States. Doesn't have to be a port of entry, doesn't have to be on a coastline. It could be interior. So we're certified. We go through quarterly audits with Customs and Border Patrol. Very good stuff. And of course, Romeo evolved during those years. And this year we're launching Romeo Generation 4. This year we're launching SARA. We've had the ability now to use our team to hire great people to build great devices. And it's really exciting where we're at right now. We have over 70 dealers. If you count our contracted and deployed devices, we're over 1,000 devices. We have over 100 team members. Our Detroit factory, where I'm filming this right now, is an incredible place to come. We love when customers come here. We won't be holding investor events here anymore because I can't interrupt the flow of what this factory does. But those who have been able to visit in the past, I know you enjoyed your time here. And we have a very strong backlog, which is supporting my forecasts of full operational positive cash flow this fiscal year. Why am I buzzing with enthusiasm about 2025 and beyond? I'm telling you, you're going to see it right now. You're going to see it and you're going to hear it right now, because it is all about the solutions that we have been creating, deploying, and what we're going to be adding and expanding this year. I've been talking about the security of everything. We're going to get into a little bit more detail here and a little bit more detail throughout every subsequent part of our presentation. We are commercializing elements of generative AI into the security and facilities market. And we're doing it with a series of hardware and software that we have invented, engineered, designed, built from the ground up. We own every single bit of what we do. Simple as that. It's a huge advantage. This allows us to call all of our own shots, and it allows us to deliver to customers features and benefits that they ask us for. Don't have to go to another company who builds some of our stuff for us, go through whatever contracts with them. We just get to do it. It has been one of our strengths. And I'll share with you, the product line that we're showing today is largely built on a very simple concept of listening to our customers, having our vision, sharing it, listening to our customers, building and delivering it. One of the things we have to knock off right away in this investor presentation is something that cost us millions of dollars and took approximately 2 years to complete. What I'm talking about is something you might not be familiar with, but we did a big transition from what we called our Gen 3 platform to our Gen 4 platform. It was a huge project. It took way longer. It cost more than I expected, which kind of happens in technology in general. But I'll tell you what it is. We moved from a Microsoft Intel hardware software framework to an NVIDIA Ubuntu hardware software framework. Now, everything we did on Microsoft and Intel is still running, and I expect it to run for years and years and years. I expect it to run for so long that we get free value, if you want to call it that, well after we've paid for it through depreciation and amortization. That is my expectation. But I also expect our new stuff, NVIDIA Ubuntu, to operate even longer and better. There was an interesting offshoot to this difficult project. And what it did is it really ended up bringing the company together. There had a lot of challenges, so many moving pieces, had to rewrite so much software, production manuals, operation manuals. And it just brought everybody together, which is why I'm so happy when I come to work and why I tell our team members, I want you to be happy when you come to work too. If you're not, it might not be the right place for you. I don't really want you not to be happy and here. In any case, let's get back to Gen 4, and it's highlighted by a few different features. Number one, takes much less time to build a Gen 4 device. Going from 16 hours for a ROSA to an hour and a half. Huge difference. Devices are 33% lighter. What that does is that drives all kinds of cost savings. ROSA 4 is definitely still in the same price range as ROSA 3. Okay, I don't want to say that we're saving money on it. We're not yet, but we're on the right path. So because it's lighter, there's fewer parts. Fewer parts, less logistics, less parts to store, less parts to build, faster builds, lower shipping costs. All this stuff adds up. I do expect to get the cost of ROSA 4 down over time. One of those things, hey, we're already building our 5th generation, of course, which is exciting, which does have significant cost savings in it, but we'll hit that maybe next year. Gen 4 devices are lighter, have much, much, much better audio for intelligibility 2 ways. Intelligibility out in the field, whether you're at a ROSA, a Rio, or an AVA, and intelligibility if you're talking to somebody over the communications lines. Now, important for a couple of reasons that you'll see here. Number one, hey, if I'm talking to a human, I need to be intelligible. But the way we're going with security of everything is you're going to be talking to SARA the most. And SARA needs to have intelligible audio as well. That is why Gen 4 platform so important to our future, why we had to make all the investments that we did. The security of everything concept is based on a few foundational blocks. One of them is natural language processing, which we're going to abbreviate to NLP during the course of this presentation. NLP comes in 2 main areas. The first is when I'm speaking to a device, I need it to understand what I'm saying, and in turn, it needs to give me audio that I can understand. And the second area is when the device calls for help. Talks to a security guard, calls law enforcement, calls facilities, calls somebody. So NLP is one of the foundations for this. The new ROSAs perfectly equipped to handle this, along with the new AVAs as well. Now, I promised in this presentation that I would attach products and solutions to the 4 different companies that we have. And we're going to do that right now. The first product category, which we're going to tag under RAD-I, is what we call our stationary product set. Okay. Now, that, of course, is ROSA, which is our best seller. 1,000 units. 1,000 units have been built. If there hasn't been a press release on it yet, there will be, or there has already, but 1,000 ROSA units. What a number. Huge number. Great. Our best-selling item. Gen 4, faster, brighter, better audio, more reliable. Great, right? So that's ROSA, and that's ROSA Gen 4. Love it, love it, love it. Drives so much of our company, including Rio. Rio is our biggest revenue-generating product, but of course, it's just a solar trailer, a great solar trailer, but it's basically a vehicle to power ROSA. ROSA is the heart and soul. Next product that we have out of the RAD Inc. line, which we're going to call the stationary product line, is of course AVA. And AVA is launching this month as well with Generation 4. It's lighter, it's more compact. We actually got rid of an auxiliary box we had on it. Much better audio. Super excited about it because the first surprise I want to share with you here today is AVA is now built and designed for homeowners associations. We have finished a companion app for AVA that we call HOAP, H-O-A-P, Homeowner Association Platform. And HOAP allows homeowners access, guarding companies, management companies, everything that you need in an HOA in order to replace Maybe you're just going to replace that night guard who's letting in nobody. Maybe you're going to do your whole thing. Maybe your HOA is in budget crisis. Who knows? But this solution is probably our most requested solution from our dealers ever. They have been crying for this. We're delivering it starting this month. We have very modest sales expectations for this year because I like to be conservative on forecasting, but I'm so excited for it. I think it could be a really, really, really big product for us. I know it will be in commercial and industrial. Okay, fourth product, hardware product for RAD Inc. out of the stationary lineup is Tom. And Tom is a much loved product. We don't push it much. It's low cost, it's low revenue for us. We've really built it as a convenience for customers that are easing their way into RAD Town, where you've got Ava's at the gate, Rio's in the parking, Rosa's on the sides of the building, Tom's on the inside, a RADCam at some entrances here and there, a Romeo rolling around. You see the vision, you know the vision of RADCam. That's really where Tom's at. Tom is a product created by a team member not named Steve. So I want to mention that because we want to empower our team members to bring their creativity to light. And I always compliment that product. That team member is our Chief Operating Officer now and has been with us since 2017. So we talked about the stationary line from RAD Inc. And they're powering our revenue. They are the sum of where we've gotten all of our revenue from. But that doesn't really necessarily excite people. What excites people the most is what we're doing with mobile robotics. We kind of put this under the RAD-M banner. And right now it has two main products. It has Romeo Gen 4 and it has RAD-Dog LE2. Before I show you RAD-Dog LE2, we're going to talk about Romeo Gen 4. Romeo Gen 4 has been a product we've been working on for years, and we have had swings and misses, and we have spent a lot of money and a lot of time getting it right. Today, I can stand before you and I can tell you that we have thousands of hours of autonomous navigation using our Gen 4 navigation platform. Huge accomplishment. The next thing I can say is we have maybe at this moment 1,000 hours of proper navigation running on our new Gen 4 platform. So what you'll start to see at the end of February and March is you'll start to see real full Romeo Gen 4s rolling around the Waterloo, Ontario, Canada campus and rolling around the Ferndale, Detroit, Michigan campus as well. So the units are starting to roll off the line. By summertime, we should have multiple units a day rolling off the line here in Detroit. Very, very, very exciting. Romeo works to do the work that approximately 50,000 guards do right now in jobs where enterprise organizations don't really want to employ a human. I'll give you the economics. To have a human in a light pickup truck or a golf cart, that enterprise organization is going to pay anywhere, depending where you're at in the country, from $45 to $75 an hour bill rate. Romeo to the customers is maybe going to be $9 or $10 an hour, and it's going to do more for longer. We're very excited about Romeo. It'll be our most expensive product by revenue to us coming in. So 100 Romeos earning us money a month make a huge difference in our financial journey as well. Now, let's talk about RAD-Dog 2 LE. I'm going to show it to you right here because you've not seen it before. What we have done, surprise, surprise, is we have taken the concepts of RAD-Dog LE, which we've deployed to Taylor PD outside of Detroit, and we have listened. Again, we're great at listening. And what we have done is with our ODM manufacturing partner is we have gone with the wheeled version. This version offers so many more advantages that we've learned about through practice in the field that brings so much more utility to law enforcement agencies. This product is simply designed to save officer lives, conflicted persons' lives, de-escalate, and in general help law enforcement and citizens be safe and secure. The fact that it has these wheels on it, but can still go up and down stairs extremely fast and safely, gives it the utility that officers need. It could search through rubble. It could do so many features. We're very excited about it. I see multiple RAD Dog LE2s in police departments around the country over the next couple of years. I see it as an indispensable tool for those reasons. That, my friends, are the two products from RAD-M that I'll share with you today. There is something else under development that you'll have to wait until the end of March to see. Company number 3, RAD Group, RAD-G, software and OEM work. Okay. The products we're going to talk about here that have been fully productized include SARA. SARA has some great videos. Let's roll one right now.
Hundreds of screens, a relentless stream of data, the fate of security resting on tired eyes. This is the harsh reality of traditional monitoring centers. But human eyes can only see so much. Mistakes happen, fatigue sets in, and the crucial moments, they're too often missed. The cost, too high. Meet SARA, AI that sees, thinks, and responds. The game-changing intelligence transforming the security industry. Imagine eyes everywhere, all at once. SARA sees what humans can't, processing every detail, every movement. It's total awareness, brought to life by AI. SARA delivers lightning-fast response, eliminates the risk of human oversight, and cuts security expenses dramatically. Move beyond passive monitoring with SARA. Visit radsecurity.com/SARA to learn more.
You know, I love that so much. SARA is heart and soul of generative AI for security. Let's show one more.
Not so long ago, connecting a phone call was a complex, manual process. Hundreds of switchboard operators sat before intricate panels, meticulously connecting wires to complete each call. While the scene is different, the struggles are identical. In countless security operation centers, human operators still battle a constant barrage of information, fatigue, distraction, and risk of human error, just as switchboard operators did decades ago. In the same way that technology automated switchboard operations, SARA, an AI operator, is transforming security monitoring by simultaneously monitoring hundreds of cameras and instantly responding to threats autonomously. With SARA, security enters a new era, freeing human talent from endless screen watching for more strategic work. Learn how to protect your business with AI at radsecurity.com/SARA.
We've got our homeowner association platform, which we talked about under RAD Inc. because it's a companion to AVA. And also in RAD Group, we have RAD Light My Way. Let's show a little bit of clip of RAD Light My Way of how that works.
There are serious threats that exist in our daily lives, and outdated legacy security systems cannot keep up. Until now, healthcare facilities have been struggling to ensure the safety of their staff and surrounding campuses. RAD Light My Way is a new technology that puts on-demand security in the palm of your hands. Driven by advanced AI, RAD Light My Way allows users to see the route they're taking and request a virtual escort that stays with them until the individual safely reaches their car or destination. Lights are illuminated and bright, two-way communication with live security personnel is activated, and AI-powered high-resolution cameras record every detail and sound the alarms if a threat is detected. You no longer need to feel alone in the dark. RAD Light My Way is enabling the future of personal safety. Ask your facilities management for RAD Light My Way. Available from Robotic Assistance Devices, a wholly owned subsidiary of AITX.
We have an incredibly happy customer with RAD Light My Way, a hospital in North Carolina. There's a case study as well on it. I encourage you, read that case study. I have seldom seen a customer as excited about a solution and its impact on their operation as I've seen with RAD Light My Way. RAD Light My Way's uptake has been slow. It has been slow. Doesn't mean that we believe in it any less. Customers that I showed to, they want it. We've just got to get the industry over the hump to start using it. It is such a great solution for personal safety and security. The last product coming out of RAD Group is ROS. ROS is effectively a spin on RADSoc. It's basically an iteration of the software that we use, but it allows other cameras to connect to our software and get the features of our analytics, our SMS texting, and a whole host of other features that I'm not going to get into right now. So ROS, because of SARA, we really expect ROS to take off in a big way this year. That's a little bit about RAD Group. The fourth of the four companies is RAD-R, RAD Residential. RAD Residential, if you're watching this, I know that you know that RADCam was launched. Very beginning of January, we started shipping customer orders. If you haven't got your order in, get it in. Get a RADCam. It's awesome. You'll love it. If you don't, return it. It's fine. Okay, but I know you're going to love it. So RADCam has come out of RAD-R, and RADCam is going to spawn hardware and software improvements beyond what's available today. Future products are going to include a RADCam doorbell, which is going to be a very big deal, I think, as well as accessory cameras that are even cheaper than RADCam, don't have audio and visual, but help you paint a picture of what's happening at your house using generative AI. It's amazing. That vision will come to light this year. RAD Residential, unbelievable where it's going. Earlier, I noted that Steve Danelon has been recently appointed president of RAD-R. We're going to bring Steve on for a quick little minute.
Hi, I'm Steve Danelon, and I'm incredibly proud to serve as the president of RAD-R, the innovative company behind RADCam. It's an exciting time to be part of a team that's redefining what's possible in home security and AI-driven solutions. RADCam isn't just another security camera. It's your intelligent home partner with features like real-time visitor interaction, instant alerts for critical events, and our groundbreaking package theft prevention system. RADCam goes far beyond simple motion detection. For example, if a package is removed without authorization, RADCam activates a loud siren within seconds, issues a verbal warning, and even captures the perpetrator's face for immediate identification. It's security that doesn't just watch, it acts. At RAD-R, we're passionate about solving real-world problems with cutting-edge AI. Whether it's creating safer homes, reducing nuisance alerts, or ensuring peace of mind, we're committed to delivering solutions that work smarter, not harder. Thank you for trusting RADCam to protect your home. Visit radcam.ai to learn more and see how we're making home security more intelligent, more proactive, and more effective than ever before.
So now, what we have through these 4 companies and the different solutions under each of those companies is the delivery of RADTown. Is this concept that if you step into a RADTown facility, like I said, Ava at the gate, Rosa on the fence and on the building sides, Rio in the parking lot, Tom inside, RADCams around different entrances, your interior cameras talking through Ross. That is the vision when you add in Romeo rolling through the parking lots as well. That, my friends, is RADTown. That is a solution set that significantly improves performance over legacy methods at a significantly lower cost. That is why we exist.
Next up, Troy McCanna will review RAD's ever-growing and ever-flowing sales pipeline.
Related to sales and the funnels here at RAD this year, I would like to kind of take a little look back to 2024 and talk a little bit about the growth that we've experienced, some of the transformations that we've been a part of, and kind of see how that has projected us further into next year, into 2025. Folks were learning and we were gaining mind share in the industry that led to a massive increase of that sort of organic interest that brought customers to us and channel partners sort of flooding into our direction to learn more about what we were doing, how we were changing the industry. And of course, that helped us generate what we have kind of ended the 2024 year with, which was an unbelievable amount of momentum and the ability to kind of spread our wings in a way that we hadn't experienced yet until 2024. We continued to build in some of the verticals that we had experienced success in. As we expanded into the construction vertical, we were learning that there were some very specific needs and wants in the security areas for those industries. And as we were able to listen to the customer, which is one of the things I think sets us apart, as we were projecting that power of our ability to be nimble as a company to our customer, we were able to take some of that same kind of strategy within the construction industry and give them tools that allowed them to have real-time insights into their job sites. And we're really proud about how that went in 2024. And we see massive expansion potential moving into 2025. The second area that we noticed very large momentum and an improvement in our sales strategies and our ability to reach out into the vertical was within the healthcare sector. The healthcare sector in 2023 had began to pick up momentum with some key partnerships within that industry, and that has simply improved and increased throughout 2024. One of our proudest moments is that we've obtained a long-term client in one of the 30 largest healthcare networks in the United States. We've already expanded to multiple states, and we've got verbal agreements with that customer already to move to 30 additional locations in the first quarter of calendar 2025. The security solutions that we're providing for the healthcare network do more than traditional security. We've been able to give healthcare executives the ability to provide something to their employees that isn't about cost effectiveness. It's not about efficiency within the workplace. It's truly about providing something to employees that is about their workplace and their workplace balance and peace of mind while they're at work. And there's, it's been expressed to us through a number of different ways that kind of value to the employees has been really well received. We know that we have a tremendous amount of new interest in the healthcare network through both our channel partners and direct contact. And we see that expanding dramatically moving into 2025 with a number of continued engagement that we already have on the books, as well as things that are in the pipeline that are going to allow us to continue inside of that vertical. As we move through the healthcare vertical as a really positive part of our plan moving into 2025, it takes us to one of the kind of tried and true verticals where we've been winning kind of since the beginning here at RAD, which is in logistics and warehouses. So we've expanded to over 40 new locations in 2025 related to logistics and warehousing. We believe a lot of that expansion is due to this e-commerce growth in the United States that's driving a lot of that sort of retail market into these large warehousing facilities, which require, elevated security and things along that lines. 2025 brought something, though, to RAD that I don't think any of us were really expecting, that has turned out to be one of the most exciting opportunities that we're involved in here. We call it our metropolitan expansion, but essentially what it is that we are partnering with mid-size and large metropolitan areas throughout the United States that are making a concerted effort to turn their downtown areas back into a place where families and businesses are welcomed and feel comfortable going to. And I can tell you that there's just a special kind of satisfaction when, as a company, we can contribute to allowing a city to continue to lead the way in the way that they deal with their community, they uplift their communities, and they attract new business and visitors to their city. So that initiative, we expect to continue. We're in talks with multiple, like I said, mid and large municipal organizations to continue to expand how RAD can participate in bringing America's, biggest and best known cities to prominence where they belong. So that's been a lot of fun. It's kind of through that same kind of effort where RAD has gained mind share both in the industry and with end users that we've been able to kind of surge sales. We've expanded our dealer network. We're well over 70 partners now that kind of share in the RAD mission to utilize technology to elevate security, elevate effectiveness, but don't put such budget constraints on our end users that don't allow them to enjoy the benefits that come from these kind of solutions. And the other thing that has really excited me as being a part of this team is that our expansions with our existing customers. I feel that that is one of the best representations of whether or not a company or organization is doing well, is whether or not they can keep their existing customers happy, continue to grow with those relationships, and expand internally with those organizations. And we've seen a massive increase in that with our existing customers, long-term customers for multiple years, continuing to grow their relationship with us and expand their deployments of our solutions, which is leading to a very full funnel, a growing backlog that, we always look to clean up and then refill again, being part of that mission. But that is the validation that says that we are absolutely on the right path and that we're doing the right things here at RAD by utilizing a culture that just demands care of the customer. It's not just about selling them a solution. It's about continuing to be a partner with that customer so that we can continue to move to the needs that they have and listen to their concerns and try to solve the problems that they're encountering day in and day out. The way I look to the future is that I think it's brighter than it's ever been since I've been here at RAD. And part of that is because we have won the battle of winning mind share. We want to expand that and we want to reach more people every day. And that's part of the reason that part of the 2025 plan is to double the sales staff here at RAD, reach more end users through that sort of direct contact and outreach. And it's completely justified through the fact that all of the interest inbound has also doubled and potentially moved towards a tripling over 2025, where that organic reach out from end users who are experiencing difficulties that they think and hope that RAD can help solve. And through what has been going on here at RAD, I'm pretty confident we can do that for sure. And in 2025, we want to reach even more verticals, places we haven't gone, listen to end users and customers that are going through unique challenges with security, because it is the nimbleness and the flexibility of the RAD solution that allows us to fit very well in a lot of different areas. And it's through that engagement and that constant communication that we learn how can we help and what can we do to solve some of those unique security problems for them. In closing, I think it has a lot to do with the RAD culture on why success has picked up, continues to pick up momentum, and it's because there's a 100% buy-in on the culture here, and it's customer first, it's solving problems, and it's being a part of that journey, not just for the sale, but throughout that relationship.
Now, let's hear from Mark Folmer, RAD-I's president, to discuss recent client and operational wins.
Hello, everyone. Today I'll be sharing insights on production, operations, client-facing items, and getting into the why and how of what we do. Our approach really aligns with the corporate security team's priorities of delivering that real impact and pushing the idea of peace of mind for them. We've got people focused on device health and deployments, people focused really on the software optimization and device optimization. Operationally, our team members are local, multi-region, really covering or ensuring, I should say, that insight and support across the key regions. Deployment growth without facility headcount growth. There's so much more that we can do, and we love being in that space or having that room to move and to increase as we go. Autonomous intelligent response. Security never sleeps, right? So that whole idea of air and security never sleeps. So 24/7 multi-time zone monitoring of device health, really focused on device uptime. If we go back to, kind of promising on what our service delivery promise is. And you think about the operations folks and the build folks as really as the unsung heroes, the behind the scenes, but just building neat stuff and always, improving as we go. Innovative solutions, nice segue into talking about what's coming and what else is out there and why we're excited to be delivering that in the industries. You think of the security of everything, right? I think you'll hear Steve talk about it and Troy sort of touch on it, where that idea of AI tools like SARA, right, really guiding security operations, doing some of the work, taking away the burden from the human on those basic tasks. And of course, as we all know in the security industry, security does so much more than security. Right? It's customer service. It's welcoming. It is sometimes that action or that saying no, but it is also now that, again, peace of mind sort of piece that we go back to. Our solutions are built for rough, high-risk environments, solving problems that traditional methods can't or can, but they're more expensive, or can and they're more dangerous, and so on. 5.6, so nearly 6 million hours of coverage, right? That's equivalent to 3,400 FTEs or full-time employees, right? Devices are impressive and really delivering the basic guarding functions. So think about client wins and relationships. So we've, kind of talked about the operational side and the device side, the innovation side. Now think about wins and clients and so on. What's better than a new client? An actual client that's frequently placing repeat orders. We absolutely love it, right? It shows growing trust, growing acceptance, growing adoption as we go forward. So we have dealers that have empowered their entire sales teams and even their operations teams to say, hey, where else can we impact change within our clients? How else can we better serve that customer and maybe better defend, sort of what we're doing and how we're doing it? Really helping operations deliver differently to their customers. And of course, those with really good local reputation. So something you might think of as smaller type dealer, but really offering that innovative type solution. and who buys, right? So we're talking about, the solution and innovation and so on. RAD-I adopters or RAD adopters include typically the early adopters. So it's someone where maybe they have innovations team on site. Maybe they're very safety focused or security focused, and they're looking for value to deliver that differently. The non-adopters are really prefer legacy. Hey, why change? Resist change management is a real issue or problem for them, right? So we're seeing acceptance going up, right, for the innovative solutions. But we're seeing also an increase in invitations. Hey, RAD folks, Troy, Steve, myself, can you come and speak to us on the topic of technology and security services? Right? So that visibility is really going up. And it's not like, hey, can you just come pitch us on RAD devices? It's, hey, what about some guidance? Can you be the GPS? Can you give us some guidance on how we can improve what we're doing, or what the different options are that are out there? What's coming? That's often a big topic of, hey, what else is coming, so that we can kind of get ready for that. So really talking about the technology and the security service space, and then showing that path forward. And of course, we have to make sure that we're as compliant and or even more compliant than we can be and should be. And we're doing that with different type of certifications, whether that's a SOC 2 type 2 type compliance, or really the Safety Act work that we've embarked on and are working feverishly towards. And if, kind of wrapping up, these few minutes, and reflecting, I guess, on the 5 years, I'm in sort of in my fifth year, I guess, at RAD, and really grateful for the growth, right? Grateful for the wins, grateful for the learning opportunities, right? And the industry support. So, that's definitely something that is motivating and exciting. And, that team effort, that company culture of getting things done is something that you really, want to latch onto and definitely don't want to let go. And keep in mind that, to me, we're still in the early stages, the early phases. So it's just the beginning, with much more success on the horizon. Thank you.
Now we'd like to introduce Sheldon Reinhardt, AITX's Chief Financial Strategy Officer, to talk financials.
Hi, everybody. This is Sheldon Reinhardt, Chief Financial Strategy Officer for AITX. I'm going to be going over some of the financial highlights with you today. I was first hired by Steve as a consultant to help with the reverse merger and quarterly filings, and I've been working with AITX ever since. In June 2022, I took the role as Chief Financial Strategy Officer, and it's been great. I've loved this journey, and I think Steve is one of the best founder CEOs that I've encountered in my career. Now let's just look at some numbers. If we take a look at the fiscal year 2025 Q3 results, which corresponds to November 30th, 2024, we see over 30% quarter-over-quarter growth. For the last year, we've seen quarter-over-quarter at least 30% growth, and for the full year, over 350% growth. If we were going to annualize the revenue for the current fiscal year 2025, which ends February 28th, 2025, we could project anywhere between $5.5 million and $6 million, conservatively based on our current sales. When we're going to look at annualized returns of our revenues, comparing year over year, if we compare fiscal year 2024 with fiscal year 2023, we saw very strong growth of 67% year over year. If we just take a look at the 9 months ended November 30th, 2024, and compare that with the full year ending February 28th, 2024, we achieved 90% growth. That's amazing. And if we annualize our fiscal 2025 revenues, that'll come out to around 148% growth fiscal year 2025 projected over fiscal year 2024. However, for us, projecting next year's fiscal performance is always difficult, and we like to look at it very conservatively and just try and estimate what a moderate growth model would look like. Now I'd like to turn to the breakdown slide which goes over the deployment of our revenue earning devices, which is the main source of our recurring revenues. Here, we are showing by product which units are currently deployed. We see most of our deployments are of ROSA, 341, and then the other new products. Of course, we're always introducing new products, and really Ava and Romeo and Tom are in that category, and we expect obviously growth in those areas. We expect all our products really to contribute, but we also expect that Ava 4 and the new Rio devices, as well as mobile and software, will start making great contributions to our financials this coming fiscal year. So for fiscal year 2026. We can be positive about fiscal year 2026 because when we look at the backlog of devices, we see we have quite a few 72 Rios, Rio 360, and another 21 Rio 180 in backlog that we expect to sell in the early quarters of fiscal year 2026. And then we also have fiscal year 2026 identified opportunities where we conservatively looked at our expectations of future orders on these products. Once again, Rio highlights the high probability opportunities, Rio 360 at 300 and Rio 180 at 124. So this is why we're saying this is where we expect our growth in fiscal year 2026 to come from these products. Now that we're on the topic of fiscal year 2026, I'd like to go over 3 different projections: a very steady sales rate, really small or no sales rate growth, just assuming really the present sales rate growth, and then our best estimate based on when we expect new solutions to start being available and when we expect to start shipping to the customers. And then another very probable scenario of a little bit higher sales growth if we really expect sales to take off. So those are the 3 models I'll now be presenting to you. So looking at model 1, we see if we just after fiscal year Q4 2025, which is the quarter ending February 28, 2025, once we start the new fiscal year, we expect really mid-teen growth for the subsequent quarters, quarter over quarter for the next fiscal year. This is very conservative. As we saw in fiscal year 2025, we had around 30% growth quarter over quarter. And in this particular model, we're being very conservative and saying we're going to do really anywhere from 12 to 18% growth quarter to quarter. We still see really great growth even in this model, as it would project out to around $14 million in sales for the year, the fiscal year ending February 28th, 2026. To summarize, Model 1 is really how we expect things to look if there's really very small conservative sales growth in comparison to what we've been achieving so far, just to give an idea of the bottom of what we expect our fiscal year 2026 to be. Now on to Model 2, which is our best estimate of what we expect fiscal year 2026 to look like. Model number 2 is our best estimate of when new solutions will start shipping to paying customers with very conservative RMR estimates, plus moderate impact of a larger sales force, a little bit more advertising. This is really what we're hoping to see for fiscal year 2026. As you can see, comparing Model 2 to Model 1, when we start at Q1 fiscal year 2026, the numbers start growing a little bit more. This is a little more of a higher projection, but it's based on what our expectations are. For this model, our quarter over quarter growth is around 20 to 25% quarter over quarter, closer to what we saw when we looked at quarter over quarter growth in fiscal year 2025. So we're just projecting in this model similar growth as what we saw in the previous year. This would yield really exceptional results of over $17 million in annual sales for fiscal year 2026, which is really what our goal is and what we're looking to achieve. Now we're going to look at the next model, number 3, and this is a scenario where we're looking for sales to really take off. And in comparison with Model 1, it's consistently higher quarter over quarter. When we look at it, it's forecasting anywhere from 22 to 30 to 42% growth quarter over quarter for the fiscal year 2026. If we take a look at what the annual projected sales would be in this scenario, we're at around 21.7 million. And certainly this is a very possible scenario. It's actually showing growth expectations consistent with what we've seen in 2024, fiscal year 2025, 2024, 2025 calendar year. For us, one of the most positive impacts of higher sales growth, and this is even looking at our expectations from Model 1, which is our most conservative outlook, is that we expect to be operationally cash flow positive within this time frame. So even at the most conservative level, our expectation is to be able to fund our operations sometime in fiscal year 2026. To close, I'd like to have a little conversation with everybody about our stock price. People always ask especially when you're a smaller public company, about the stock price and how the stock price is doing, because certainly, it's an important metric for investors, especially investors who've invested in the stock. Steve and the company doesn't dictate what the price of the stock will be. That's based on very complicated stock market factors. It's really the market that chooses the pricing. We're very happy when the stock price goes up and people congratulate us, but that's really misplaced. Same when the stock price is down. Our job is to build and create business and then communicate it to our investors and the public. People also ask a lot about when we're going to get listed on NASDAQ. Steve has shared what we're looking for: the right combination of 3 elements before we uplist: continued revenue growth and profitability, reduced debt, and cash in the bank. That's important because it puts us in a position where we can pick and choose how to uplist, which should be valued by all shareholders. Will it happen in fiscal 2026? Maybe 2027. We need to carefully pick the timing, and the company will follow the proper notification rules when that is upon us. In closing, thanks for listening, and I hope to share the financial results for the year ending February 28th, 2025 in the near future.
And we welcome back Steve Reinharz to give his closing remarks on this AITX investor presentation.
Do you guys love Troy, Mark, Sheldon as much as I do? Do we not have a great team? Thanks for watching this far. We're not done yet. Folks, you've made it this far. We're going to start our closing comments. Let's go. And depending on how long you've followed me or the company, you've heard me share that this is a land grab. Okay, this is Oklahoma in 1870. This is the start of the 4th Industrial Revolution. Not the start, actually. We've taken several steps into the 4th Industrial Revolution, and it's a land grab. I've been pushing as hard as I possibly can, our team, our investors, in order to create RADtown so that we can win the land from the Enterprise 2000 and become this incumbent after this revolution is over. To do that, we need more than 70 dealers and 4 business development managers that report to a senior VP. Over the course of 2025, we're going to be adding between 5 and 20 people to our sales and account management teams. And we expect that those additional heads give us the ability to drive revenue well past the projections that I've talked about. In the coming years, I see many more dealers and many more BDMs, and each BDM producing millions of dollars of new revenue, adding to our already growing annual recurring revenue. Because of RADtown, we are entering in a phase of change in the security and facility management industry. And a lot of legacy companies are going to have to adapt and change, and we're looking for partnerships. We're looking to leverage what other companies have built for sure. We're looking to be the backbone of this new revolution and this new industry. But there's going to be some fallout. We're going to see how it goes. So I want to share with you, our investors, fans, and followers, it's going to be a rocky road. There's going to be ups and downs. It's going to be exciting. But at this point, we've demonstrated so much resilience against crazy, crazy odds that I'm super confident that we're going to hit our numbers this year and that we're going to emerge from this phase of growth as this incumbent security company. As you saw with our reveal of RAD-Dog LE2 today, we're not stopping innovating. And I certainly did not disclose our entire roadmap here today. I promise you, there is a lot more innovation coming in the coming years. I think the one I'm most excited about is what we're going to be doing with RAD-R, because we can connect more as fans, followers, investors with the company when you're using our products and you see how great they are. We're coming to the end of this presentation, and I want to give a big special thanks to the team that made it happen. We had a great video production team here. We've got Doug Clemens managing the ship, along with David Marsh, our newest VP added for marketing. We had incredible presentations by Mark, Sheldon, Troy, and a cameo by Steve Danelon. Thank you guys for being able to share all this information with everybody. I hope that you enjoyed it. And usually at this point, we start doing some Q&A. However, we are not going to. We have a list of questions that have been submitted over the past few weeks. Thank you very, very much. We will be doing a separate Q&A in the coming weeks. Probably me, Brad, Bradley, and Sarah, or something like that. I don't know. We'll make it fun, but we'll get those questions answered. We just only have so much time. I didn't want to miss the January 15th date. And I promise you, building this presentation was a ton of work. Thank you so much for watching, for being part of our journey. Let's have another great year together.
That's great, guys. That's a wrap. Thank you much.